Sometimes we do things that we know aren't good for us just to prove to ourselves that we matter. This episode is all about that, about chasing things outside of ourselves to feel worthy, about the fear of being insignificant in a world that's shifting too fast, and about how we can actually heal. So I stood in a line for 5.5 hours to get Rhode in this LA pop-up store. Not because I needed a new peptide lip tint, I already had one, but I needed the sugar cookie. No, I didn't. It was because of FOMO. Fear of missing out. And let me tell you, this experience has cracked something open in me that I didn't expect. This isn't about just waiting in line for makeup or skincare. It's about these deeply rooted feelings that made me do it. The feeling of not being enough and the fear of missing something important. I was like, I am in Los Angeles. Why don't I just go there? I even pressured my boyfriend. I was like, please, we have to go there. We're gonna miss it. It's not gonna happen again. And I had this subconscious belief that if I wasn't there, I was falling behind and I was missing out on a huge opportunity. And the worst part is I was about to get my period when I was standing in a line for 5.5 hours. My body was already on the edge. My emotions were heightened. My nausea was kicking in. Yet I stood there for 5.5 hours. I even told my boyfriend, like, I'm about to faint. I know it looks cool online, but it's not worth 5.5 hours of wait under the sun. So I kept thinking, like, why am I standing here for 5.5 hours? Why did I do this? Even after the experience, I was like, wow, I wasted an entire day. I was gonna shoot episode 5. I was gonna do the Monday through Friday videos. I was gonna do like screenwriting for a client. I missed the entire thing. So I thought about why I was standing in the line, and I realized because sometimes we do things that we know aren't good for us just to prove to ourselves that we matter. We joke about FOMO, the fear of missing out, but let's be real, it's not just about events or trends, it's about self-worth. We have this worry that everyone is moving without us, and I feel like this started in 2020 because we were stuck at home. We were stuck with our thoughts way too much. We didn't have things to distract us. So we worry that the world is moving on and we're like trying to catch up with it because everything is so fast. There are so much media that we have to consume in order to keep up with the trends and keep up with everything that's going on. So I'm talking about this feeling that you're somehow falling behind in life, and when you mix that with the chaos of the world, the wars, the disasters, the uncertainty, it gets even worse. It starts to feel like if you don't do something, if you don't prove yourself, if you don't do things, you might disappear. For me, it was about being in LA and not attending that many events because honestly, I love being at home. I don't like going out, especially after dark. So when I heard about Rhode pop-up, and because I follow like Rhode, I love their skincare, I was like, oh my god, I need to do this. I am already here. But honestly, I really didn't have to push myself and my boyfriend to stand in line for 5.5 hours under the sun for a 15-minute of mediocrity. So this is your reminder that not everything you see on social media is real. Things look so much better on social media because they share the highlights and the most aesthetic parts about it to push you to get their products, to push you to get there, go there, support their products, support their brand, etc. And I felt so tired afterwards. It's not just about the same day. I still feel tired, and it's been 2 days. Because I feel like I realized as I stood in that line, my body was screaming at me. My legs were aching. My stomach churned. I was exhausted. I felt nauseous. But I ignored all those signs. I was like, no, I have to do this. This is the trap so many of us fall into. We push through, ignoring every sign from our body that we need to stop. And over time, this actually builds up anxiety, burnout, chronic stress. It's not just in your head, it's actually stored physically in your body. I talk about somatic healing every now and then, but it's really true. Even these things that might seem small really affect your body. So I feel like somatic healing is about learning to actually listen to your body and working to release the tension of that trauma holding onto your body. And I'm talking about childhood trauma too, by the way. We're talking about this experience that I had at Rhode, but we are also talking about everything that you do that goes against your body. Every trauma that you have, it is stored in your body physically. And learning to actually listen to your body, recognizing these patterns, realizing, oh, I have nausea when I do things that I don't like. I have nausea when I don't know, I really have nausea whenever I push against my body. That's my signature. What is yours? Because you probably have the same thing. Some people have headache, migraine. These are all things that manifest in our bodies because we push beyond our limit, or we're storing a trauma that we've experienced and we still didn't feel those emotions and didn't let it out. So about fear of missing out and about this Rhode line, I think somatic healing and really being present in our bodies is how we stop proving and just start being. So here is how I've been practicing it, even though I ignored it for a day. I've been practicing body check-ins, asking myself, where am I holding the tension right now? And really breathing deeply into it. It's a little meditation. Like I'll also put healing frequency music and just breathing into my nausea, my headache, whatever I'm feeling. And at first it might feel uncomfortable. It might feel like it gets like intense, but at some point the ache kind of gets confused, like, oh wait, I'm in the spotlight, what's going on? And then slowly it actually disappears. If it doesn't disappear, then it's just you have to do this practice over and over again and really keep an open mind to it, and also do the other two things I'm going to tell you. So the next one is going to be journaling with sensations. So not just writing what happened, but writing how it felt in my body. This happened and I felt like my legs were cramping. I felt nauseous. I felt like I had this heaviness on my chest. Whatever it is, just write it down and also recognize why you did what you did, which in this case, for Rhode, it was because of fear of missing out. And then the third one is going to be shaking it off. Literally, it helps so much. Sometimes I would get up if I'm feeling like so intense in my body while writing like an intense story or something for a client, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this is so bad. I will shake it off. If not, I will put on a music and I will dance, because literally the energy moves with that. Like you kind of get out of it. Moving helps release those stuck emotions and stuck feelings. I feel like that's why I was feeling so tense in the line too, because I didn't have space to move at all. They kept pushing us to be closer to each other in the line, and I was like, oh my god, there's no place. Like I felt so stuck. I still feel it in my stomach actually. After this, I'm gonna do these 3 things just to be able to release again. But the truth is, proving yourself to the world isn't worth breaking yourself for. That's something I learned, but I'm still learning apparently, because sometimes we have to relive that lesson and be like, oh yeah, I learned this lesson and I'm now relearning it. Universe is like, here you go again, just you forgot this lesson. And I also want to talk about how the world feels terrifying right now. Everything is shifting, everything is changing, it's collapsing, getting rebuilt, and it's easy to feel super small in this world, insignificant, irrelevant. Like nothing you do really matters, nothing you do works. Like I get that feeling. I really do. Like deep in my core, I understand what you're going through. So what do? When we feel this way, we get stressed and then we chase validation. We try to create meaning by proving ourselves through achievements, by showing up for every opportunity, saying yes to everything by keeping up with trends and keeping up with friends that we don't like so that we don't get left behind. But the real significance isn't found in what you do, it's found in how you exist. Are you doing something for passion, or are you doing it because of validation? Are you doing it because it's a trend? You gotta ask yourself these questions and really dive in, because if you're doing things for trend or fear of missing out and waiting in line for 5.5 hours and wasting your time, then that's not truly living your life on your own terms. In fact, I talk about this on TikTok, you're living in someone else's dream. Hailey Bieber built this company and we're now living in her dream, in her passion, and we're basically followers of her passion. But what about our passion? So chasing trends and giving into FOMO can really leave you feeling empty, stuck in a cycle of doing things just because everyone else is doing them. I feel like instead, it's time to make choices that really align with our passions, values, and what genuinely fulfills us. Again, she did this because it genuinely fulfills her. This is something that she wanted to do for a very long time. Now, what's something you want to do? What's something that you already do that is like your passion? Oh, this is what I do to release stuck emotions, or this is what I do. Like writing, for me, writing fiction is really something I do to release the tension. Making these videos fulfill me. It doesn't matter how many people watch. I just feel like I'm giving something back to the world. So it's really time to figure yourself out instead of getting lost in these brands and fear of missing out and seeing everything beautiful on social media, and you look around and you're like, it's not beautiful in my house. Time is precious. Spend it wisely. Do something you love and actually enjoy instead of getting lost in comparing yourself to others and how you're missing out and things like that. Some ways to really ground yourself when the world feels too much and when you notice yourself doing things out of fear. Limit doom scrolling. Okay, this is something very important. It's okay to be informed, but be mindful of when it starts to consume your energy. I have this friend, I met her yesterday, and she told me how every morning she checks the news about what's going on. And I was like, oh my God, morning is when your mind is so sensitive to information. Anything you feed your mind in the morning is gonna literally define your entire day. I honestly recommend listening to powerful, positive affirmations first thing in the morning. I know you like scrolling. I know it wakes you up. I know it helps you, but don't do it, because then if you are consuming news, or if you're consuming like these perfect little lives, perfect aesthetic lives, then your day is gonna be like, oh, my life sucks. And that's gonna define your entire day. Instead, literally brainwash yourself. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am amazing. I got this. I do what I love. And these affirmations, 10-15 minutes, at some point, like 1 week, 1 month later, if you do this every day, you're going to reprogram your mind to actually do things that you love, and you're going to believe in your own worth and in yourself. And when you feel stuck, number 2 is going to be go back to the present. Literally ask yourself, where am I? What is real in this moment? Look around. And I think we had this like grounding in chaos episode. I interviewed an actress, Clara Navarro, and she actually said to define 2 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, 2 things you can taste, 2 things you can smell, and 2 things you can feel. Just notice these things, and once you notice them, you actually come back to yourself, because we're so stuck in our minds. It's like so many scenarios play in 3D sometimes, and you're like, whoa, I think it's the end of the world. Oh my God, I have to do this. If not, I suck. And things like that. And we believe in that. So once you come back to the present moment and define things that you see, things that you hear, and you ask yourself, wait, what is real in this moment? You ground yourself back in the present moment. And I also want to like add a little thing here. I also want you to journal once you notice and ground yourself. What do you actually need in that moment? Do you need to go to the Rhode event? Or do you need to maybe go to a dinner with your boyfriend, like a romantic night out? See? That's something I would have liked instead of this. But definitely journal about it. Don't let things slide, because thinking is not enough. As I always say in this podcast, math problems are complex, right? And you write them down to solve them. Similarly, things that you're thinking, your mind is working in like 1,000 times more than you can actually catch. Like those thoughts, it's like, oh, what am I thinking? You have to catch them and you have to write them. And then you can actually see, oh, I'm low-key having suicidal thoughts. I'm low-key having these negative thoughts. I'm low-key like attacking myself and my physical appearance. And I'm comparing myself to a model whose job is to be a model, right? And you realize all these things. So definitely write them down when you're doing all these practices. Number 3 is going to be connect with what's truly yours. Your goals, your dreams, your impact. Not the noise outside, but what you truly want, because you are unique in your own way. The only thing you can do is to find how you are unique and use that as a tool for grounding and having fun, because that's literally the point in life. We get so lost in the negativity and everything that's going on, but are you having fun? Because that's why you are here. And when you do something you enjoy and you have fun, that's when you truly live, not when you do things out of fear or judgment or fear of missing out. So you are not behind, you are not small, you are here and you are alive. I waited 5.5 hours for a lip tint, and I love the products, don't get me wrong, but as I waited in the line, what I really got was a mirror reflecting back my own fears that I still have after this much self-work. I still have these things, and I recognized like my own need for validation from the outside world, my own need to keep up with the trend and thinking that's gonna work instead of just being myself, and my own exhaustion from trying to keep up with everything and everyone. If you've been feeling this too, like you have to keep running to just stay relevant, I want you to take a deep breath right now and literally remind yourself you're not behind, you are not small, you are here, and that is enough. I am here, I am living. I do things out of passion and love and out of wanting to help people, and I do things that I enjoy instead of doing things out of fear. Remind yourself these things. Listen to positive affirmations. That really helps. If you like this episode, make sure to like and comment. I reply to all of your comments. I really love reading them, so thank you so much. If you're new here, this is the Upgrade by Sedaniore podcast. This is where we finally upgrade our lives in 2025, and this is a new podcast, so if you're joining right now, make sure to keep in touch, because I know all the self-development podcasts right now are like episode 200, and you feel like you are missing out. You feel like you already missed the train. You didn't miss this train. I am right here. This is episode 5. Make sure to follow and subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to rate this podcast 5 stars. Download the episode and share it with a friend. It really helps me. I'm also doing this challenge of posting 2 to 4 minute motivational nugget videos Monday through Friday to really get you going. You know, you don't have to wait for Sunday to feel motivated for the week. I'm right here for you, 2 to 4 minute motivational videos. I'll link the last 2 right here. They are really good for you. They are about like not proving yourself to anyone, just keeping your head high up and just going straight forward to where you want to go. So these will really help you gain your power back, because I really want you to become the main character of your own life, even if your default is support, because trust me, that used to be me. And I'm right here for you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next Sunday. Well, I'll see you on Monday, but for this podcast. I'll see you on Sunday.